Hello and welcome to this tutorial. We're going to talk about how we can improve spanning tree by introducing something new, and that something new is EtherChannel. Now, we're not going to introduce any new concepts in spanning tree or any terms. We're simply going to expand our knowledge of spanning tree, particularly how to optimize it, and we'll do that by looking at EtherChannel. Okay, so this is a relatively brief tutorial. Let's begin by taking a look at what we already know. If we have these two switches with two links between them, spanning tree will go ahead and put one of them into a block state, and that's to prevent any loops from happening between the two switches. Now later down the line, if our active link experiences a problem, spanning tree kicks into action and it will remove our redundant link from the block state, and it will begin to transition it through the listening state, the learning state, and eventually the forwarding state. And at that point, we've recovered from the network failure. And this is why we like spanning tree. It saves the day. However, there's an unfortunate side effect, and that's the amount of time that spanning tree can take in order to converge. Remember, the max age is 20 seconds long, and then the forward delay in the listening state and the learning state is 15 seconds each. So in total, we could end up waiting 50 seconds for this network convergence to happen. Unfortunately, that's a long time in today's networks where you have a lot of applications demanding zero packet loss and next to nothing in terms of latency. Also, there's a problem here in terms of efficiency. Specifically, before this link became active, it was just sitting there doing nothing. It was our redundant link, and when we did need it, it was there and it saved the day, so we're grateful for that. However, most of the times in a normalized network, we're not using it, so it's kind of a waste of money. We have a link between these two switches, there's a single port on each switch being utilized, but we're not using it for any purpose other than just to be there in case we need it. Well, that's also a downside of spanning tree. So with these things in mind, let's go ahead now and take a look at just the basics of EtherChannel. Now, with EtherChannel, we can take a different approach to connecting switches together. Basically, EtherChannel enables us to bundle several links into a single connection. And this bundle is going to look like a single link to both switches, and both switches are actually going to treat it just like a single connection as well. It would look like this on a networking diagram. Usually a circle around a group of connections between two switches indicates that they're functioning as a bundle, and that's usually achieved with EtherChannel. So now each of these links in the bundle is going to be used at the same time. Traffic will be load balanced over all of the links in the bundle. So we're no longer wasting bandwidth now. In fact, we've increased our bandwidth between the two switches. If each one of these were a single gig connection, now we're actively using 2 gigabits at the same time. So it's a really good way to increase link capacity rather easily. EtherChannel also gives us some built-in redundancy, and this is really key. As long as one link in the bundle remains up, the entire bundle will stay up. So for instance, out of these two links here, if one fails, the bundle as a whole still stays up. So you can imagine if you have 4 links in a bundle, you've got a lot of redundancy built into it. It's going to take all 4 of those links to fail for the bundle to come down. Okay, and so that's how basically EtherChannel works. And there are 2 ways to implement EtherChannel. The first one is the Cisco proprietary method, and it's called Port Aggregation Protocol. The second one is the i3E version, and that's referred to as Link Aggregation Control Protocol. Alright, so we have a little bit of knowledge of EtherChannel now. Let's go ahead and combine EtherChannel and spanning tree together and see what happens. In fact, let's use this same diagram to now add spanning tree to the mix. So we have our EtherChannel between switch A and B, and we turn on spanning tree. Well, to spanning tree, this bundle is also going to look like a single connection. Spanning tree just sees the bundle. It doesn't see all of the individual links inside. And so spanning tree is going to treat this bundle as a single connection as well. So that means the bundle, if it's put into a forwarding state, all of the links inside of it will also be in forwarding states. So spanning tree is not going to have to block any of the links in the bundle because it simply sees one connection. Now here's the really good part. If one of the links in the bundle fails, we know that the bundle itself will stay up as long as at least one connection is up. This means that spanning tree doesn't have to transition, because the redundancy is already taken care of inside the EtherChannel bundle. There's just no need to do anything because the bundle is up, the single connection is up, so spanning tree is happy. It's a single link, and that single link has not failed, even though a member inside the bundle has. So spanning tree is happy. There are no failures, there are no loops, and there's no need to transition. And that's the big benefit that we get, is that we avoid any timely spanning tree conversions. We don't have to go into the listening state and the learning state and finally into a forwarding state. So we never have to transition, and that is the big deal here. Okay, so to summarize what we covered, we now know that EtherChannel bundles links together. And by doing that, it utilizes all the bandwidth of all the member links, and we also have now created this built-in redundancy. And so when we add spanning tree to the mix, spanning tree will recognize that EtherChannel is just a single link. And because of that, when a member of the EtherChannel does fail, spanning tree is not going to have to transition. That means we don't suffer through all of the downtime while spanning tree transitions from a blocking to a listening to a learning and eventually to a forwarding state. Okay? So that's it. That's how we can go ahead and help spanning tree by using EtherChannel. Thanks for watching.